Hi guys, I'm a little late filming this. I had quite the busy day, and I'm going to be going over my Weight Watcher meeting, the highlights. And first off, we'll start with I gained, which I knew I was going to. I'm in my kitchen because the lighting's a little bit better. It's later in the evening, and my craft room, anyway, seemed too dark when I was filming it. Just so you wonder where you're at in my house. Anyway, gained 1.9 pounds. Not surprised and actually pretty happy because I was on vacation for 2 weeks and I rarely ate a meal at home. You know, we were out, and so I'm not used to that. I eat out every now and then, and here I was eating out like every night, and I was just indulging and having fun. Had a little bit of things to drink that I shouldn't have, pop being one of them. I mean, I would always lately have, every now and then I'd have an orange pop, you know, a 12-ounce orange pop, but here I was having pop every day, and sometimes more than once a day. And I would drink bottled water, but I don't like the taste of bottled water, and I can't drink water in other places. It affects me with bathroom issues, so I just let myself go. So 1.9, not so bad. I'm going to be back on track now and try to get serious. It's just really hard for me, everything. And of course I have this weekend coming up where I'm going to be going out of town again, so that's a problem. I hopefully I'll maintain at least and not gain any more, and then get serious after I get back from that. But here you go. The weekly for this week is Love Your Summer. I have the cat in the hair is bugging me. Mindfulness can help you savor the best of the season. In the beginning, love your summer. What is it about this season that's so special? And it's just about, it's time for us to ease up on routines, travel more, yeah, me, and enjoy longer days. How does it help? Taking part is pleasurable, engaging in meaningful activities can boost life satisfaction according to research. So we go into this what to do, savor your summer. Sight, gaze at the fruit, touch. As you roll the fruit in your hand, what does it feel like? Smell, bring it to your nose and inhale the fragrance. Is there a sweet perfume? Hearing, gently bite into the fruit. What does that sound like? Taste, chew slowly, letting the fruit linger on your tongue. We didn't really talk about this in the meeting, and I'll go into that in a minute. So I always read you the little quotes, people in there. I'll enjoy everything summer brings. Tomatoes, outside concert, and sunlit walks with my wife. Another one said, I'm going to let go of the fantasy beach body and just enjoy my body as is all summer long. And I tried to explain to people that hashtag sunshine and hashtag exercise are the best antidepressants in the world and are both free. I hate hashtag. I've told you that before. Pasta salad with tomato and basil. Now that looks like I might try it. Usually I don't try these recipes. That one gives me a little bit of pause. Then I might actually give that a whirl. That sounds good. So that was the weekly. And we, you know, of course, Dorothy being gone, I wasn't there last week, and Eileen is going to be our new leader. She wasn't there this week, so we had a substitute, and her name was, oh, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry, Anne Marie. I was looking down at those notes. You know, I put my notes in my little reflections planner, which I love. Anyway, and her name was Anne Marie. And you know, when I had gone on vacation this past weekend, I went up to Lexington, Michigan, which is north of where we're at. And she's actually the one that weighed me in when I went in, and I knew she didn't look familiar at all, like to the other ladies that are usually there. And she said, how was your week? I said, well, I was on vacation for 2 weeks, so I know I've gained. And she goes, oh, where'd you go? So we're talking. Then I said, well, you know, I went to, you know, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then this past weekend we went up to the cottage in Lexington. That's where she lives. Not in a cottage. She has acreage up there. And so it was funny. I was like, you know, talking about places up there and how it was and how she likes Lexington. It was very nice. And so she's a leader up there, and she's been a leader for 3.5 years. And she's gained and lost, as most people do. So they start different programs, and she went through her little history, and that was a lot of the meeting in the beginning. She took a lot of time talking about herself, which was interesting, but not real helpful to me. You know, other than keep trying, don't give up, because clearly it worked. She lost in the last time 206 pounds. So there's somebody we want to listen to. She looked really, really good, and she was in a very good mood. And I can see how she'd be a very good leader if you knew her. And so we talked a good portion of the time about her and her journey. So we didn't really talk a whole lot about, you know, loving summer. Although she had notes up on the board, and I'm going to tell you what she has, but we really didn't talk about them. So it's like, it's hard for me to give it to you because we really didn't talk about it, talking about her. But some of the little quotes that she had, she wrote the word time on the board, T-I-M-E. And she says, what we need to do is focus on, she circled the M-E for me, and she put an arrow to the beginning, so it should be me time. Of course, we've talked about that in the past. We've had whole discussions on that. So that wasn't anything new. And then she said, if you never quit, then you'll never fail, because you're just going to keep a work in progress. So another thing she said was, don't set a time limit, like I'm going to give myself 6 months to lose so many pounds. She says, no, this is for life, and there's no ending, because even after you've lost what you want to lose, then you have to learn to maintain it, and that can be just as much a struggle, if not more, than the actual losing of the pounds. So you can't say, I'm only going to have to do this for another year or 6 months or whatever it is you have in your head. You just have to say, this is for the rest of my life. And that's how you got to know it. Because it's never something that's going to become natural to you. You're not going to miraculously get to your goal weight and then everything's going to be, you know, perfectly clean and your body's going to work with you and you're going to stay there. It's going to be a struggle, because metabolisms are different, and everybody is made differently, and you're made to have food issues. And, you know, she said, I hate to be so grumbling and, you know, low about it, but that's what it is. It's kind of what it is, you know what I mean? She was talking in reality. That is the truth. So, anyway, she said, love your summer. What have you done to enjoy the summer so far? So some people talked about that, their travels that they went on. Another one had just bought a condo, and she was a renter for a very long time, so she's very excited about that. And she was talking to, and just other things, people like riding a bike, you know, swimming, and all the things that they're doing in the summertime. So other people talked when for that period of time. And then so she did write on there, and we so quickly went through it. Like I said, the bulk of the meeting was what I just said. And then the short part of the meeting at the end, she was trying to go through these bullet points, and I'll give them to you. It's basically what I've already read in there. Ways to savor summer. Be a tourist in your own town. What are your favorite places locally to visit? So, you know if someone was coming to your area, you'd be telling them, oh, you need to see this, and you want to do that, and this is where you want to eat, which would be, you know, probably not the best part of this, but you look, and sometimes you don't even go see those things anymore. She says, be a tourist, like with fresh eyes that you've never seen it before, and go check out those sites, and then bring people along. If no one's been, somebody you know that lives by you and they've never seen that site or gone to that place, then bring them along, and then it's all, you can be the tour guide of that person. Number 2 was channel your inner child. Go to a water park, do some outdoor sports, go for a bike ride if you haven't ridden a bike for ages. Just be a kid again. She says, when you try to remember the game Statue, I don't know if you remember that. If you're my age or older, you probably remember it, where you had to pretend you were something or somebody, and like you'd be a statue. And she says, it's like a charades for adults now. So she says, just don't spin people around and like hurt somebody. I don't remember the spinning around part. I just remember somebody saying stop, and then everybody had to stop where they were, and like you were like frozen into a statue. So maybe she played the game a little differently than me. But anyway, the whole point was is just to act like a kid and do fun things. And don't think, oh God, I'm too old. You know, of course, don't hurt yourself. Don't go trying something crazy. But, you know, there's many things you could do that you just think that you're too old for. And you're not. So go out and do it. And rediscover your yard. There's lots happening in it. What can you do right away in your own yard? Like she says, to do a driving in at home. Like, you know, people have those things in their cars, and they usually have them for kids when they're driving or whatever. You know, DVD players in there. You know, put a movie in there. Sit back there. You know, healthy snack. She's going out. Wouldn't be so fun, would it? No. And just have it driving in your backyard or in your driveway, really. And other things, just, you know, rediscover things in your backyard that you maybe put in a garden. Maybe, you know, spruce up a garden, anything like that. That was, I guess, what her point was. Number 4, make a splash. Go tubing, go swimming, go jet skiing, which is on my bucket list still. Things like that. Number 5, learn something new. You can learn a new language. And you can do iTunes U instead of TV, which I've never heard of iTunes U, so I'm gonna have to check on that. But basically, just to learn something new. If it's a new craft, if it's new language, just jump into it and enjoy. And making yourself happy will make your, you know, better disposition, and therefore not eating poorly and better choices. Blah 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 blah. Number 6, dedicate yourself to a little laziness. She says, like with a hammock, you know, just lays in the hammock, or sit in a beach chair and watch the water, or, you know, you don't always have to be on the move, because those types of relaxation and meditation when you're just chilling is really good for the soul and good for you too. You don't always have to think of this summer and all this activity. You can just, you know, sit back, let yourself sit back, let yourself enjoy and chill out. And then she said, be mindful. And of course, the same things that I already read to you was the sight, touch, you know, all those things, which we already went over. She gave us a map, a calendar page for August. And she says, let's write in some activities right now. Well, nobody did. You know, it was at the end of the meeting. We hardly had any time left over. But just go home and figure out some things and write them in there. If you're writing them down, you're more apt to do them. Like schedule fun is what she was saying, or schedule laziness if that's what you're going to do some meditation. She gave us her Facebook page, and then her quote was, if you can't laugh at yourself, you've missed the biggest joke of all. So I don't know, I'm gonna laugh at myself. But one of her big tips, and she was saying, people ask her, like, how do you deal with cravings? And she says, I just don't have them in the house. I love ice cream, and that is my downfall. And if I buy ice cream, I'm gonna eat it. It's gonna call my name. I'm gonna hear it. And so she said, so if I want ice cream now I go to a place. I get in the car. It is an outing, and I know I'm not gonna have a lot. I bring my husband, who loves ice cream too. She said, and she pays more, because you pay more when you go to like the Dairy Queen or Bunny's, which is like by Lexington. It was cute when she said that. You know, it's an ice cream place up there. And she said, and then I figure when I'm eating it, I'm only eating half. And I get the small, and I'm only eating half. My husband will eat the other. And then I feel like I got something. And it soothes the craving for a while, and I don't do that very often. And that's what she does. So she said, if I have craving for this particular kind of nuts, she said, you can't buy them in a small package. I look and look, and I can't find them. Just like, you know how they have those little individual bag of nuts. The particular kind of nut that she likes, they don't have that. So she said, so if I really, really have to have it, I will go to the store. I will buy it. I will measure out what the portion is that's for this, you know, the snack or the points that I want to allot to it. And she says, and then I take the rest of it and I'll throw it down the garbage disposal and grind it up. She said, because if I leave it in the house, I'm going to eat it. And my husband doesn't like those nuts. So she said, you know, her husband is very fit and healthy. and can eat all her extra sweets. But if there's something that he won't eat, then, and she really wants it, she's, you know, and some of her kids told her, that's just being wasteful. And she goes, not in the long run. I'm saving myself because I know I don't have to. And somebody said, well, why don't you put it in the freezer? And then you won't be able to eat. She goes, no, because then I'll probably figure out that that's even better, and then I'll have one more thing I'm going to be craving. So she was very funny. She was very nice. But so that's how she handles cravings. She doesn't have it in the house. She has to go. She goes and buys it specifically to eat her portion, and she either grounds it away or gives it to her husband, and that's how she handles it. So that might be a helpful hint to you if you got somebody who can help you along there. The other thing she said is she tracks. Of course, we all know that we should be tracking, and I have the tracker in my phone. She says, I'm old school, and when she said that, it reminded me of me, and I like to write things down. She said, so I write it down anyway. I use my e-tools, you know, the tracker in your phone, to point things up. She says, but I like to physically be able to look back and see what I've eaten, you know, how I can look from page to page. And you can do that in the phone. You can hit back and back and back. It's not as easy. But she just likes to be able to visualize and see. And so she has a good week, she has a bad week, she can look back on the pages and see, yep, there's where I went wrong. Oh yeah, I really did good there. So I thought, I'm gonna do that. And so they sell this 3-month tracker. It's like an old brown, it's supposed to look like leather. It's not leather, it's like a brown cardboard. And they sell those, they're $8. And it's for 3 months. And so I bought one because I looked at the size of it, and they were a little bit bigger than my planner that I bring with me everywhere. So I had to do a little cutting up. I used my cutter, but I put them in here. I haven't written it in today because I'm actually not going to start this until next Wednesday, because I know that I'm going to have a bad weekend, and I don't want to start. I want to start afresh when I have my mindset that's fresh, and I'm going to do this. So instead of doing it in my phone, I'm going to be tracking it in here. I did have to cut off each little side to make it this 4 inches. That's the width that I needed. But I have plenty of room. It still has the day there. And you write down what you want, and your total of your points, that type of thing. And total smart points, weekly smart points allowance, if any used, and then activity and exercises on the bottom. So, and then you just have to write your own date in there. So that's my plan for next week. I got it all ready. I put it in my planner. And I'm not setting myself up for failure, so I'm not going to even try to think I'm going to be doing that this week. I'm still tracking in my phone, and I'll still you know, keep on target as best I can. But I do know that I'm going to be going out of town, and I do know that that's not going to be good. So like I said, I'm not going to set myself up for failure. I'm going to start next Wednesday with writing it down and starting afresh, and use new eyes and all that other kind of stuff that everybody says, because, you know, this going up and going down a little and going up and going down a little, it's got to stop. I see everybody else with these great high numbers, and that's what I want, and I know I need, and that's what I'm going to have. So I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please share it with someone if you think that it could be helpful to them. Leave me a comment or question below, and I will answer it. And what else? Like this video, because that does help. And subscribe if you're new. That'd be great. So I'll see you next week, and hopefully you have a great week.